Well, good afternoon, happy stampers, and welcome to my Happy Stamping Studio. My name is Judi Anderson from the United States, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today. Whether you're watching live or on replay, please say hi and let me know where you're coming from. So today is Halloween here in the United States. Are you guys all ready for it? We have had snow already this morning. We had snow flurries. Can you believe that? It was like thinking 4 years ago, 2019, we got 3 inches of snow on Halloween Day. Usually it's cold, very few days is it warm. The kids know that they have to bundle up, but snow, it's way too early for that. And I'm not even done with my outside chores yet. So today we're going to be creating an elegant Christmas card using the throughout the year stamp set and some dies. Oh, excuse me. I'm using very vanilla cardstock, some real red cardstock, and some Dazzle specialty paper, and some Mossy Meadow to create this wonderful card. I'm also using the red and gold ribbon from our online exclusives that you can find in my online store. You can find all these products on my online store at judianderson.stampinup.net and just click shop now. So what do you say? Let's get started, everybody. Let's flip you around. There we go. See if it's gonna fall down a little bit. So let me move it just a little bit closer. How is everybody doing? So this is our throughout the year cling stamp set. It is red rubber and it has Happy Easter, Happy Holidays, birthdays, luck, trick or treat, Valentine, and cheers to you and the new year. This is a great stamp set to use throughout the entire year. And you can even get started on your Valentine cards and if you do St. Patrick's Day cards early this year because of this stamp set. So, like I said, we are going to be using some dies. I am using the Christmas Classics dies. We're going to use this label here, and let me just pull these out. Oh, some of the dies I want are going to stay in there. We're going to be using this leaf die, and there's 2 of those, so we can cut 2 at one time. And then we're going to use this small holly die. And I think that's it for those. And then the Ringed in Nature has a die that has some berries on it. So let me get this open here. This is a hybrid embossing folder, so you can use these dies to cut out these wood embossed images. So let's just get this out, and the image that I want is right here. Oops, I haven't put these on a metal or a magnetic sheet yet. Okay, so we're going to put that all to the side. Put it way off here. Oops, sorry. Okay, so like I said, our card base is very vanilla. I love using very vanilla in the winter months because it gives you that warmth feeling instead of stark white. I have a piece of real red. We could put that here because ever I have decided not to. And I forgot to mention another embossing folder. It's the one with all the notes. I didn't put the name of it on it, so I don't remember what the name is real quick. It is the Merry Melody. And you can use this embossing folder year round. Do you have anybody in band or orchestra? This is a great embossing folder to have to make projects for them. Okay, and this is our Dazzle paper. And then we have some scraps of very vanilla, Mossy Meadow, and real red. Now, I have not cut out any of the dies. I know that's unusual, but some of you have requested that I complete a card from start to finish. So that is exactly what we're going to do today as I draw. So we're going to start by cutting out some of our images with our dies. So we're going to grab our cut and emboss machine right here. I'm going to cut several at the same time. So we have our number 1, number 2 plates, and then we have 1 acrylic plate for the bottom. Let's start by placing this at a diagonal. Put that down here, and we're going to cut our label with that. And you know, I always cut these straight, long dies at an angle. That way it doesn't warp up. And then let's get our red, our real red pieces. And I think I can cut 2 at a time with these. So we're going to start with that. That label takes up quite a bit of room and I don't want it to move off. So I'm just going to take that, push it in there and push it down and run it through. And I do pull it back because it's easier for me with the camera to work over on this side. But you wouldn't have to go back and forth. Let's see. Okay, that is cutting 2 at a time nicely. And I'll show you my trick for getting those pieces of cardstock apart. This is a little bit finer die, and because I cut 2 at a time, it's a little bit harder to get off, but not that bad. Okay, we're going to need another one of those because I do want 4 of those, which is a little odd because I usually work in odd numbers. Okay, we're done with this label. So now I am going to grab my Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to cut 2 of these out at one time too. So we're going to do the holly leaves in Mossy Meadow. Stick this in there, plop it down, and run it through. How many of you have started your Christmas cards? Let me know. I sure hope you have. You know, before we know it, Thanksgiving is going to be here, and you're going to want to have those put out in the mail soon after. You know, I have a friend, and it's not me, that starts addressing her Christmas card envelopes for the following year in the winter months. She tells me it gives her something to do, and that way cards aren't that much of a task for her at the holiday time. This one didn't cut quite as well. Okay, you'll see this one's a lot easier to punch out because it's not as detailed. Okay, we're going to want 4 of those, and then we are going to be cutting. I'm going to put this in it crosswise. I may do an extra set of that. And on this dazzle paper, you can only cut 1 layer at a time because it is thicker. And so let's get those on there. I just love this dazzle paper. Some people love it and some people hate it. Some people don't like the pattern that's on there, but the sparkle, you guys. And I love the pattern because it adds interest to that paper. You know, glimmer paper and sparkle is so much fun, right? So pop those out. See if these are going to pop out easily, or if I'm going to have to flip them over. So I just line them up once again, just like this. And now the dazzle paper is thick, so sometimes you have to flip it over, and I do not know if I'm going to be able to flip both of them over at one time. And what I mean by flipping it over is we need to, so it's stuck in those cut lines. I'm going to flip the paper over, and I don't know why this makes a difference, but it does. So there's another little trick, you do it upside down. Let's get this through here. I didn't line it up evenly. Let's hope I didn't move those dies. But now, as you can see, it's cut through. That one it moved. So let's see how it comes out. Well, I ripped that one, but this one's going to come out just fine. Oops. Just a little tug right there. So we have one. I'm going to go ahead and line these two up upside down. Just going to put them on here. Going to move it over just a little bit because I'm off my cutting platform. And right in the center there. Should be good to go. Let's put that now. So I'm doing it upside down. And see how much better that cut? I don't know why. I'm just going to go another time. I just, you know, with some of your glimmer papers and your dazzle paper, it's best to cut them upside down like that. So we've got 3 of these. I think that may be enough. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. That'll give us odd. If I need to cut another one, I will. Okay. So now we still need our cut and emboss machine. We're going to emboss our vanilla cardstock, our layer. So I am going to have this, and this is a 3D. So as it states right on here, we need to do the, right here with your thick, you just need the bottom plate, the paper, and then your, oh my gosh, where is my gray plate? I just had it out. Oh dear, I just had it. I had everything sitting here, and I have nothing else on my table. So we're going to put this through. And let me find my gray plate. Maybe it's in my box. Oh, I don't know if my blue plate will work or not. I just had my gray plate. Let's try the blue plate. This goes with, it'll work. So if you have our old blue plate that we had with the Big Shot, you can use that, as I just discovered. You know, I will go off today and I'll find that gray plate. There we go. So we have all of our pieces. We are going to take our die, and I'm just going to put Happy Holidays, and I'm going to do it in a real red. I want to test it first, so let me get a mat. Ooh, I love that font. Are you a font person? Let me know. I love different fonts. Look at that. Okay, that's not a real elegant font, but I think it'll look great on here. Okay, so now we have this, and we are going to add on our real red. So let's use our Stampin' Seal. And with the Stampin' Seal, you just want to twist your wrist. I know some of you say that you have troubles with it, but if you just twist your wrist, I used to teach you check it, but people still got it all knotted up. So I found that just twisting your wrist works. Okay, so we're going to be putting this on here. So we want a red ribbon around here. And so I was going to do a bow, but I am thinking that a bow may be too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a ribbon on here to begin with. I'm going to grab my tear and tape to attach it and go right along the center there, like this. So I have been working on my Christmas cards for a while. I start in July. You know, I have my Christmas card classes, my Christmas in July class, and then every month I do a Christmas card class. And several of my customers have their Christmas cards done already. I have one that has it all labeled, stamped, and ready to go. She says she's so excited because she can get them in the mail the day after Thanksgiving. Now, I say that that's organization. I'm not quite that organized. We're going to take our bone folder and we're just going to rub that tear and tape. That helps taking that covering off. Oops, I'm going to grab, take your pick tool. Okay, let's grab our card base and go ahead and burnish that fold line. So we've got a nice fold line, making sure our notes are in the right direction. Now, do you see, I didn't give you measurements. Do you see I have a larger border around the outside? I actually went 1/8 of an inch shorter than 5 1/4. So it's 5 1/8, and this way it is 3 7/8. And then I just went 1/8 inch smaller for the very vanilla here. Okay, so now we need to get all these pieces apart and we're going to start assembling our pieces here. I need to grab my foam mat and my handy brush and knock out all these centers. And I don't worry about if all of them are knocked out or not. I don't have my take your pick tool. Here. I've got my pokey tool. That's actually a paper piercer. You know, I love our take your pick tool, but I use it so much and I carry it around, and it's actually in my toolkit from when we were away last week. Okay, all those aren't going to come out. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it. Let's just brush this and see how easily those come out. Okay, so now we need to get these little boogers apart. So what I do is I just rub my fingernail, and you'll hear it kind of crack like, and that's when it separates, and then you just pull them apart. Isn't that quick and easy? So you can't really, let me see if you can hear this. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that little like snap, that little crack? Okay, so got those. You'll hear it more on these. Let me see if I can get it up by my mic. Hear that cracking? That's those papers separating. So I don't cut more than 2 layers at a time because you will loosen your machine. Okay, what I want is I'm going to want this here. And then I want to layer these on here so that they are sticking out around. So I'm just going to place, we'll do this one in the center, and this one coming out here. So I'm just kind of placing these right now. Okay. So I know I'm going to want them about there. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, now I want to place all my other greenery. So I'm just going to place these on first, and then I will see how they look. It can overlap. I may just use 3. Four might have been overkill. They don't have to be directly on top. Okay, so I don't want these going in the same direction though. Let's move this and this on top just a little bit. Okay, so this will cover it up. So I know that that's about where they go. So I'm going to grab my mini glue dots. And we're just going to start placing the mini glue dots underneath our pieces. I'm going to start with the dazzle paper because I want that in the background. And I can be a little bit more selective now with the placement without gluing them down. They kind of move around. Get this one here. So there we go. Let's grab some more glue dots. Just move this. Now these would go really quick. If you were sitting and watching TV, you could sit and cut some out, you know, do all your die cutting and just have a bunch of die cuts. And then you could sit and emboss. There we go. I don't want those exact. I want it a little bit fuller. I may do 4. I'm going to check that out in a second. Get this one here. You could also use your tear and tape for this or your liquid glue if you wanted. I just find that a lot of times, I'm going to put this one kind of here because I am going to put 4. Put this one here. Changing the layout a little bit. You guys know I do that. Just want it a little bit fuller. We only have one of the dazzle on top, so I want a little bit fuller up on that section. So just kind of making a wreath. You could do the same thing. You could go in a circular design and do, oops, glue dot came off. I don't want it quite symmetrical. I'm going to move this one over just a little bit. There we go. Now I can fill in with the real red sprigs now. Once again, they don't have to line up exactly. So this one I'm going to have go off this way. Oh, I forgot to glue that one down. Either that or I picked up the glue dot. There you go. How many of you that celebrate Halloween here in the States dress up for your trick-or-treaters? I used to dress up all the time for my trick-or-treaters. I just thought it was so much fun for the kids. I used to dress up the dogs too. Minnie's gotten so old. She's 13 or 14, we are guessing. And she really is not interested anymore. She just goes in her bed and lays down. Okay, let's fill this out here. There we go. Okay, now we're going to grab our Stampin' Dimensionals and we're going to put on our Happy Holidays. And so I'm going to put them along the center of my banner, and I'm going to put quite a few of them because I want to help hold those sprigs down. I might as well do 5. You can never have too many. Now, you could take your glue and dot some of those if you wanted. If you wanted more texture, your holly leaves, you could. Okay, now this red one is getting totally covered up. So let's see where we need to put this one. I want it towards this end. Ooh, stuck. I'll get these down because I'm happy with this side. I could have almost done 5. There we go. Okay, so it's beautiful like this, but do you think we need some embellishments? Let me grab some of our embellishments here. And the dazzle paper is kind of a goldish silver look to it. It takes on both colors. So we can use either here. I think I am going to go with these gold sequins from the pastel adhesive back sequins. Kind of like these on there. So we're going to use some of the larger ones and just scatter them and the small ones. Let's do another small one here. Let's grab another larger one. I want them to look like they're sprinkled around. So we've got 4. This one needs to go in a little bit because this one's going to come out. So let's just pick this one up and move it in. There we go. So now the inside you could decorate however you want. But look at this Christmas card. All those sparkles, happy holiday, could be sent to anybody. And it's quite simple to make. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's card. We're flipping you around again. I hope you enjoyed today's card and give it a try. Go through your stamp sets, though, and see what stamp sets and or dies that you have that are different sprigs and different leaves that you could use. You don't necessarily have to use a Christmas die for this because it can take on a bunch of different looks and different leaves. So until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.